Hello everyone. So today I'm starting with another video, reproduction in flowering plants, or rather we can simply say reproduction in plants. So that is the topic in the chapter of reproduction, and let us study how reproduction take place, or rather sexual reproduction take place in flowering plant. As sexual reproduction, that vegetative propagation will complete in asexual reproduction. So let us see some of the important terms. Let us see first what are the important terms. First is sexual reproduction. So it is the one in which fusion of gametes take place. Very important thing, fusion of gametes. Sexual reproduction cannot be completed until and unless the gametes are fused. Now what are gametes? Gametes are the sex cells. Gametes are the sex cells, and gametes have one set of chromosome. Okay, so there are two parents, parent A and parent B. Parent A will contribute one set of chromosome, parent B will contribute one set of chromosome, and these will come together to form a pair of chromosomes. And we already studied in the class 9 that the chromosomes are found in pair, and the pair state is called, that is what you call diploid state. Okay, so in a diploid state, one set of chromosome come from one parent, other set come from other parent, and that is how so we human being has got 23 pairs of chromosome in each of our cell. So if somebody asks you how many chromosome you got, you said, sir, your question is wrong. I cannot count how many chromosomes I got, but I got 23 pairs of chromosome in each of my cells. So as many cells into 23 pairs. Okay, so these are the chromosomes, and we also know that the chromosomes are the carriers of genes, and the genes are the things which are expressing characters. Okay, so it is genes because of which each and every character is found in our body, visible or invisible. Okay, the next is the male gametophyte. Gametophyte is the structure which contain gamete containing part of the plant. Okay, so what is the gametophyte? That is the pollen grain. The male gametophytes are pollen grains. Okay, whereas the female gametophyte is the ovule which is found in the ovaries of the plants. Okay, and the zygote is the first cell which is formed by the fusion of the male and female gametes. Zygote is universally 2n, whatever, diploid. Okay, universally it is diploid. It has got one pair of chromosomes. Okay, but one pair means whatever number of chromosomes are there, that many pairs. Okay, so the chromosomes are found in pair. And secondly, that the zygote is universally first cell of all the sexually reproducing organisms, from which all the other cells. So whatever we are having millions and trillions of cells. All these cells are actually formed by this single cell, that is zygote. Okay, the same is in case of plant. Now organs of reproduction in plant. So we know that every living organism which are sexually reproducing having some organs. The plant also have organs. Plants generally are bisexual. So if they are bisexual, they may have both organs, so male organs as well as female organs. Otherwise, they will have only one organ. The flower have got 4 whorls. Okay? 4 whorls, namely sepals, petals, stamens, and pistils. Okay. So these are the flower is there. This is the receptacle, sepals, then petals, then stamens, which are got 2 part, anther and filament, stamens, and the pistil. Pistil is got 3 part, that stigma, style, and ovary. Okay, so this is how, if all these things are present, then we call it a complete flower. If all 4 whorls are present, all 4 whorls, that is sepals, petals, stamens, and pistils, if 4 are present, then we call it a complete flower. And in a complete flower, since both the male and female organs are there, so it is also bisexual. And if a flower is only having male organs, then it is called staminate. And if it is having only female organs, then it is called pistillate. Okay, so that is what. So when both are present, it is called bisexual flower. Okay, next is sepals. The outermost whorl, and this is generally green in color. Okay, generally green in color, and their function is to protect the young bud, young flower. Okay, the function of the sepals to protect the young flower or the bud. and that they are meant to protect the young flower, that is the bud. In most of the cases, once the fruit is formed, the sepals are shed off. Okay, they falls. But in some of the plants, the sepals can remain even in the fruits. You might have seen tomatoes in which some green sepals are there. You might have seen green chilies, sepals are there. You might have seen brinjal, the sepals are there. So all these are the examples. Most of them are actually belonging to brinjal family. Okay, brinjal, tomatoes, green chilies, bindi, है ना? Petals. Petals जो है, they are the second whorl. From outside if you see, second whorl, and they are colored, beautifully colored. But it is not necessary that all the flowers will have beautifully colored petals. We'll see where it is not there, but here it is there. Okay? And they are shaped also, different shape, and it is because of their shapes and the colors of the petals we recognize a particular flower. So we recognize rose as a rose and lotus as a lotus, marigold as a marigold, and any other flower for that sake. So we are recognizing flowers because of their shape and the size of their petals and the colors of their petals. Okay, so they are the second whorl, and you can see the shape and the colors. Some of the examples, one example is only I'm showing here. Now you can see they are generally beautifully colored and shaped. Petals are arranged in the different patterns. The arrangement can itself be of several different patterns. Then what you can see is they are responsible for attracting the agents of pollination. So they are beautifully colored and shaped just in order to attract the agents of pollination. Okay, agents of pollination can be insect, it can be moth, it can be wasp, it can be birds, it can be rodents like squirrels or moles, or even lemurs, langurs, and others. Okay, so they all recognize particular color or particular shape, or sometimes you even find that some of the petals look just like in some insect. So they are fooling the other insect, that is the male or the female partner, that your partner is sitting here. Okay, so that is some mimicry. Okay, after fertilization the petals falls off. We don't find petals attached on any fruit. Once the pollination take place, the petals are always shed. Okay, the third is stamens. Okay, the stamens are the, biologically they are called androecium, and stamens are the third whorls from outside. Okay, and a stamen that is third whorl. You can see a stamen has two parts, that is the anther and the filament. Okay, anther is got four chambers like this, and the filament. Now the filament is consisting of two parts, that is anther and filament. Anther is bilobed, two lobes, and they are producing pollen grain by a process called meiosis. Now what is meiosis? We already studied in class 9th. Meiosis is a division in which the paired chromosome become unpaired. So we have just now studied that the gametes have one set of chromosome or one unpaired chromosome. So how they become unpaired? By a process called meiosis. Okay, and filaments are just holding them high, just like a flag. No, there is a flag, and the pole is just keeping the flag high so that it can be visible from far. Similarly, the pollen grains are also kept high, so that anthers are also kept high, so that whenever any agent of pollination come, so they can shed their pollens on their body. Okay, so this is their function. Next is pistil. Pistil is the innermost word, the innermost. Okay. Now if stamens are not there, then they are third whorls. If any other part is not there, accordingly their position will be there, but no case they will be outermost. Okay, so that is the thing, and it is the innermost whorl of the flower. Again, the pistil is consist of three parts: the stigma, style, and the ovary. A pistil is having three parts, namely stigma, style, and the ovary. So stigma, the topmost part. Stigma is the part which is receiving pollen grains. The pollen grains, whenever pollination takes place, they falls onto the stigma. So first thing is, stigma is the receivers of the pollen grain. Secondly, stigma recognizes which are of their kind of pollen and which are not of their kind of pollen. So they are producing certain type of chemicals, certain type of substances which may be booster for their type of pollen grains to germinate, and they suppress the growth of other type of pollen grains. Okay, so see, they also provide condition for germination of right type of pollen grains. Now what are right type? Right type means the type of that plant. Okay, whatever plant we got, that type of pollen grains, so that only those pollen grains will germinate, other pollen grain may not. Okay, third, they also reject the unwanted pollen grains. बोले आप हमारे हैं कौन भैया, कहाँ से आ गए? The unwanted pollen grains will not be allowed to germinate. Okay, the next is style. Now style is only a long tube which is connecting the stigma to an ovary. Ovary is the basal part, stigma is the outermost part, in between there is a long tube. Now this tube is serving two important functions, rather three. First, it is keeping the style higher above so that they can receive pollen grain. Second, this is a tube through which the pollen tube can pass. And thirdly, they are also checking that the pollen tube which is growing in it is of right type or unwanted type. If it is unwanted, rejected, don't come in. If it is right type, they will be allowed to come in. So they, on germination, pollen tube passes through it. Okay, so this is the stigma, this is the ovary, and this is the style, and through the style pollen tube enters. Okay, during the course of if due to some reason unwanted pollen grains, they also produce tube, so they will be not allowed to go ahead. Okay, it is holding the stigma high. So these three are the function. Now the next is ovary. Ovary is the basal swollen part of the pistil. At the base there is a swollen part. Okay, the basal swollen part of a ovary. It has one or more ovule in it. Now ovules are the structure which later on after fertilization modifies into seeds. So you might have seen there are fruits in which only one seed is there, like for example mango. There are some in which the two seeds are there. You might have seen some such plants in which only two seeds are there, like peanuts are there, three seeds are there, that also can be peanuts. There may be 4 or 5 of more seeds can be there, like you see what you call lime in which many seeds are there. Then chiku, there were 4 or 5 seeds there, and then on the number of other plants in which the number of seeds varies, and like papaya, like poppy, they got large number of seeds, so we call them innumerable, where we got time to count them. Okay, so then we call them innumerable. Okay, so these are these swollen part are, they are called ovules. Okay, and these are found in ovaries. On fertilization, ovaries modifies into fruit irrespective to the size, shape, color, taste. Any part which is modified from the ovary will be called as fruit. It is not necessary that they should be beautifully colored. It is not necessary that they should be sweet in taste. It is not necessary that they should always produce good fragrance. Okay? It should only think that they should be modified from ovaries. So matured ovary is called a fruit. Fruits are technically matured ovary, and it must not necessarily be sweet. Fruit help in dispersal of seed. Now, most of the cases, if we ask what is the function of fruit, nobody knows. Some say, sir, it protect the seed. What seed? Seed itself is tough. Okay, the seed need not to be protected by fruits. So they are actually the thing which is helping in dispersal. So whenever any animals like a fruit, they will eat the fruit, but they will discard the seed, or they sometimes they eat the seed as well, but the seed does not digest, and that come out with their fecal matter, and then they get the suitable place to fall and they germinate there. Sometimes the seed may have hook-like structure, so they may stuck to the body of host. So where the fruit itself is changing into hook-like structure. Sometimes the fruit splits with a force and they discard the seed out. Sometimes the fruits may have sticky substances, so that whenever anybody eat, the seeds get stick to their beaks or their face or other parts of the body, and when they rub it off, they fall into a new place. Next is pollination. We can define pollination as the event of transfer of pollen from anther to the stigma. Event of transfer of pollen from anther to the stigma. Okay? Now, this can be of two different types. Okay, that is, it may fall, the pollen may fall from one flower to another flower, or one flower to same flower of the same plant, or it may fall into other plant. So accordingly we'll give the name. See, when it is fall from this anther to this stigma, it is called autogamy, self-pollination. One flower's anther to the same flower's stigma, it is called autogamy. When it falls from one flower's anther to the same plant's other flower's stigma, then it is called geitonogamy. And when it falls from one flower to another flower of different plant, it is called cross-pollination. So three conditions are there. First, autogamy, that is pollination within same flower. Second, geitonogamy, pollination between different flower of same plant. And third, cross-pollination, pollination between the flowers of two different plants but of same species. Species should be same. If it is falling onto some other species, it can be called a pollination, but it is useless pollination. Okay, so these are the definitions. Okay, pollination, it is the event of transfer of pollen from the anther to the stigma. Second, it is basically of two types. Self-pollination, that is when the pollens are falling from the anther to the stigma of same plant. Now it is of two types. Autogamy, where the pollens are falling from the anther to the stigma of same flower. Okay, same flower. And geitonogamy, when anther is falling from the pollen is falling from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower but on same plant. Okay, same plants, different flower. And when it take place between two different flowers of two different plants of same species, it is called cross pollination. Okay, now what happens after pollination? After pollination, the pollens are already reached here on the stigma. Now the stigma will provide conditions for their germination. If they are of right type, they will germinate and they will produce a tube. Okay, so this is a fertilization. Now actually the tube is formed. Now the tube continue to grow in the stigma and style and ultimately reach to the ovary. Okay, and by the time it reaches to the ovaries, the pollen grains produce two male gametes. It produces two male gametes. So fusion of male gametes which are there in the pollen tube to the female gamete which are there in the ovary is called fertilization or syngamy. Now the pollen grains contain two kinds of cells, namely vegetative cell and the germinal cell. A pollen grain has got two type of cell. One is vegetative and the other one is germinal. अभी हम मेल गैमेट नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं, अभी हम क्या कर रहे हैं, दो तरह की सेल्स है, एक वेजिटेटिव और एक germinal. The vegetative cell will continue to help in the formation of pollen tube in its growth, but in due course it degenerates. Vegetative cells क्या होती है, degenerate. It is a large cell and it degenerate. Whereas the germinal cells will divide into two by mitosis. Now meiosis एक बार हो गया, meiosis दोबारा नहीं हो सकता किसी भी सेल में, क्योंकि वन सेट पहले ही बन चुका, अब उसका आधा सेट तो बन नहीं सकता. सो क्रोमोसोम कैन डिवाइड इनटू अनपेयर स्टेट. अनपेयर का दोबारा अनपेयर तो हो नहीं सकता. सो meiosis can occur only once. In these cells, now the next division will take place, mitosis, and this will result in the formation of two male cells. So the male cells are formed from where? For germinal cell. You can call it male cell, you can call it as a male gamete. So the male gametes are continuing in the pollen tube. Okay. On germination, the pollen grain, a pollen tube is produced and both these cells moves through it. What two cells? That is the germinal cell and vegetative cell. And in due course of time, the vegetative cell degenerate. the vegetative cell degenerate, and the germinal cell divide into two to produce two male gametes. Okay. Now next is fertilization. What happens? The male gamete entered through the micropyle into the ovule. Okay, rather ovary. Synergids pave the way. Synergids करके दो cells थी वहाँ पे. दिखाता हूँ कहाँ पे. Synergids. These are the two cells. Bottom वाली. They are called synergid. And उनके ऊपर जो चढ़ के बैठी है that is egg cell. Okay. तो synergids help in the paving the way for pollen tube के भी इधर से जाओ, इधर से जाओ, इधर बैठा है अंडा, है ना. Angiosperm shows double fertilization. It's a peculiar event which is found in the angiosperm. By the way, what are angiosperm? हम angiosperm तो बहुत देर से बोल चुके हैं. What are angiosperm? Angiosperms are those plants which produce fruits, or rather we can say are the plants in which the fruits, seeds are covered by fruits, or in simple words we can also say are the flowering plants, because the flower has got ovary and ovary will change into fruit and the fruit will be covering seed. तो हम अंदर से अगर बाहर की तरफ जाएंगे तो सीड तो होता है. Seed will be covered by the fruit and the fruit is formed by the ovaries and ovaries are found in the flower. So angiosperms are the flowering plants. Angiosperm produce fruits and the fruits are covering seeds. Okay. तो वो तीन चीज आपको समझ आ गया एंजियोस्पर्म के बारे में. So now it is ovule, and in ovule 3 cells are there. These are called antipodal cell. 2 cells are there in the center. They are called center cell or polar cell. This one is called egg cell, and these two are called synergids. And pollen tube यहाँ से आए, इधर से घुसे, synergid ने रास्ता दिखाया, देखो इधर से जाओ. Now synergid has got 2 cells. 2 red color का दिखा. One of them will fuse with egg cell. The other one will fuse with polar cell. Okay. So double fertilization में क्या हो रहा है? One of the male gamete fuses with egg cell. Other male cell fuses with the polar cell. हम इसको summarize करते हैं यहाँ पे. Syngamy is an event of fusion of one male gamete with egg cell. One male gamete ये वाला, इसको यहाँ दिखा दिया, इसको egg cell से fuse कर दिया. This is called syngamy. Male gamete was haploid, one set of chromosome. Egg cell was also haploid, one set of chromosome. अगेन जायगोट बना, उसमें 2 सेट ऑफ क्रोमोसोम हो गए. काम तमाम हो गया, जो चाहिए था बन गया. ठीक है. अभी क्या है, दूसरा इवेंट हो रहा है, उसको कह रहे हैं ट्रिपल फ्यूजन. ट्रिपल फ्यूजन का मतलब क्या है? पहले पोलर न्यूक्लियाई में 2 सेल है, सॉरी पोलर सेल में 2 न्यूक्लियाई है, एंड एक तीसरा मेल गैमेट उससे जाके फ्यूज हो जाता है. तो नाउ दे गॉट 3 न्यूक्लियाई. 3 न्यूक्लियाई में हर एक में 1 सेट क्रोमोसोम है. तो 1n 2n एंड नाउ 3n. सो दिस विल बी हैविंग 3n. देखिए मेल गैमेट इज हैप्लॉइड, पोलर गैमेट आर 2n एंड एंडोस्पर्म इज 3n. ओके. सो एंडोस्पर्म विल हैव 1 एक्स्ट्रा सेट ऑफ क्रोमोसोम. पूरी बॉडी में सब जगह क्रोमोसोम 2 सेट ही मिलते हैं. एंडोस्पर्म में कितने मिल रहे हैं? 3 सेट. तो 3 सेट है तो मतलब इसमें कुछ चीज़ एक्स्ट्रा होगी. तो क्या है एक्स्ट्रा? इसके अंदर एक्स्ट्रा नरिशमेंट रहेगा, एक्स्ट्रा फूड रहेगा. सो दिस फूड विल बी यूज्ड बाय जायगोट फॉर इट्स डेवलपमेंट. ओके. कम अहेड. पोस्ट फर्टिलाइजेशन इवेंट, फर्टिलाइजेशन हो चुका. जायगोट का क्या होगा, आगे बाकी चीज़ों का क्या होता है देखते हैं. द जायगोट डेवलप इनटू एन एम्ब्रियो and the embryo will have 2 parts, that is the plumule and the radicle. The endosperm multiplies in number and provide food for the growth of embryo. Then the ovule matures into a seed. That entire structure कौन सा वाला? This entire structure will develop into a seed and the seed will have embryo. ये सब खत्म हो जाएंगे और यहाँ सब क्या बढ़ जाएगा? फूड बढ़ जाएगा. Then the ovary matures into a fruit. We have just discussed angiosperm, fruits. Fruit is matured ovary. ये देख लीजिए. The next, the sepals, petals, stamen, filament, stigma and style, they all falls. इनका कोई काम नहीं है. ठीक है. So the sepals, petals, stamen, filament, stigma and style, they all falls off. Sepals may remain attached in some of the plants that we already discussed, like in tomatoes, like in brinjal, like in chili, like in bindi, like in pomegranate. Okay? So there are some of the examples in which the sepals may remain attached, and if the sepals are remain attached even in the fruit, then we call the persistent sepals. Okay? So again, some of the plants, the sepal may remain attached even after development of fruit. So such sepals are called persistent sepals. Okay, persist कर रहे हैं वो, आगे तक चल रहे हैं, ठीक है. So that is why we are called persistent sepal. तो इसका कोई यूज नहीं है, ऐसे ही पड़ा हुआ है, ठीक है. तो in fact in flower what parts are actually useful part कौन सा है? एंथर एंड ओवरी, ठीक है. ओवरी के अंदर ओव्यूल एंड एंथर के अंदर पोलन. बाकी सब शो पीस है. तो इन बाकी जो चीज़ें इनको सबको हम एसेसरीज कहते हैं. जैसे कार में इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ क्या है? इंजन एंड द स्टीयरिंग एंड द कंट्रोल. बाकी सीट होना नहीं होना, कांच होना नहीं होना, इनके बिना भी कार चल जाएगी. तो इन बाकी चीज़ों को हम एसेसरीज कहते हैं, विच आर जस्ट हेल्पिंग द फ्लावर टू प्रोड्यूस सीड. ओके, हेल्पिंग इन रिप्रोडक्शन. चलिए, गोइंग अहेड. Next is seed. So we know that seed is what? Seed is matured ovule. ठीक है. ओवरी के अंदर ओव्यूल थे, एक या एक से ज़्यादा. वी ऑलरेडी डिस्कस वन ओव्यूल लाइक इन मैंगो, इन व्हाट यू कॉल cashewnut, in walnut. ठीक है. They got one ovule or one seed. Okay. Whereas if you see that banyan tree, the one fruit may have thousands of seeds. Okay, then like poppy, अफीम, उसके एक डोडे में हजारों सीड रहते हैं. papaya, one single fruit may have several seeds in it. तो seeds are matured. ये देखिए, ये सीड है, और सीड को क्या कहेंगे? सीड इज a matured ovule. Now, in a seed, what you'll find, there is a micropyle hole here, a small hole. This hole is that same hole through which the pollen tube enter in the ovule. So, ovule is changed into fruit, but the micropyle is still there. And this is the micropyle which is helping in the exchange of gases, and even on germination, water will enter through it. And this is a part जिसको कहेंगे hilum, through which it was attached on the fruit. Okay, so it is link between two generation. सीड अपने आप में तो कुछ है नहीं, मतलब अब ये अलाइव तो है, लेकिन इट इज़ नॉट ए प्लांट. सो ये एक पेरेंट प्लांट और बच्चा प्लांट के बीच का स्टेट है. बच्चा अभी बना नहीं है, नया प्लांट बना नहीं है, और उस प्लांट से इसका डिटैचमेंट हो गया. सो इट इज़ अ लिंक. इट इज़ अ लिंक बिटवीन टू डिफरेंट प्लांट, पेरेंट प्लांट एंड द ऑफस्प्रिंग प्लांट. It stores food for growing embryo. Now it remains dormant for a period. Seeds जो हैं, they have an ability to remain dormant for certain period, and now this period can be from few months to several years even. There are some examples of some seeds which have remained dormant even for 2000 years. 2000 years. At the time of Jesus Christ's birth, there was a king that was named as Herod. Herod's palace was discovered, and in his palace several date plants seeds were there. Date seeds. Naturally, when Herod's what you call fort itself is not there, so whatever things were there, that is also वो उसी जमाने के होंगे. ये थोड़ी कि कल कोई जाके छुपा के आया. So 2000-year-old seeds, and when they are allowed to germinate, they germinated. We have even found some of the seeds in some fossils thousands of years old, and they also could germinate. But most of the seeds जो है, they remain dormant only for 3 to 6 months. Okay, ये dormancy है. Dormancy is required because the seasonal plants are there. Like in India, we got 3 seasons or 4 seasons, whatever you say. So Rabi seeds can germinate only in the next Rabi. In between the Kharif season is there, it will not germinate. तो वो वाला पीरियड को बचा कर रखना है ना सीड को. तो that is why dormancy is there. Now world over there are several different periods for the different season, and that is why there is no fixed period of dormancy. There is a minute pore, here a pore, इसको हमने क्या नाम दिया? Micropyle. Micropyle was the same opening through which the pollen tube enter in the ovary. And this is a hilum as a scar, and this is a point of attachment of seed to the fruit in the ovary. Okay, this is embryo. In an embryo there are two parts, that is a cotyledons and the embryo तो यही है. Embryo में एक ऊपर plumule, नीचे की तरफ radicle, and these are the cotyledons. The cotyledons are providing nourishment. Okay, so in zygote soon start dividing by mitosis and forms embryo. Embryo has two parts. The part growing upward is called plumule. The part growing downward is called radicle. The radicle will develop into root. Plumule will develop into shoot. Dispersion. देखिए दुनिया में जितनी भी species है, n number of species are there. All the species God has blessed only with one thing. अगर हम अपने दादी जी के पास जाएंगे आशीर्वाद लेंगे तो दादी जी पुराने ख्याल वाली होगी तो वो दूधो नाओ पूतो फलो, मतलब खूब खाओ और पियो और खूब बच्चे पैदा करो. आशीर्वाद यही है. संसार में दुनिया में हर चीज़ को यही कहा है. Every species has only two functions on this earth: eat, drink and reproduce. Okay, so reproduction. अब क्या हुआ? Now suppose there is a banyan tree which have produced thousands of fruits, and each fruits have got hundreds of seeds, and all these seeds have fallen under the tree. Now suppose suitable condition comes, rainy season, and all these plants germinate. So under that banyan tree, thousands and thousands of banyan trees will be there, and none of them will survive. Why? Because they will not get light, they will not get nourishment. Okay, so same is true with neem tree. Suppose there is a neem tree which abode those yellow fruit, हिंदी में उसको निम्बोली कहते हैं. So nimboli, thousands and thousands of nimbolis are there. All germinates, they all fall under the tree and all germinates there. None will be able to grow till adult. So it is necessary that the seed should go away from the parent plant so that they get suitable condition. At least some of them will get suitable condition to germinate. And this is why they need to disperse from there. So dispersion is the process of spreading the seed away from the parent plant. जाओ यहाँ से, जाओ दूसरी जगह और वहाँ पे जा करके बस जाओ. ये उनका आशीर्वाद है. The fruits are modified for dispersion in variety of ways. Okay, क्या है? In some of these cases the fruits are sweet or tasty, which are becoming food for some of the birds and animals, and when they eat they throw the seed elsewhere. ठीक है. Secondly, in some of the cases the seeds may have spines and hooks and all, so whenever any animal sits there, these seeds sticks to their body, and when they rub their body against a solid thing they drop their seeds there. Then in some of the cases the fruits are burst with a force and they throw the seed out. So these are the three ways I have explained here. There are hundreds of ways. Okay, there are cotton plants in the seed is so light that it just with the air current it moves away from the plant. The calotropes is the seeds having some of the hair like projection, and they also so light that with the air it goes away from the air. The coconut, it is so hollow that when it falls into the often water body, with the water current it moves away from there. Then there are some other methods are there. Okay, so all these are the different ways by which the seeds are dispersed. So that's all in this video. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe the channel, share the video with others, and if you like, give thumbs up. If you don't like, put it down, and if you got any doubt you can ask, and if you don't have any doubt just smile and move away. And notes you can write from here. That is why I was moving aside all the time. Okay, otherwise I could have faced you and explain everything. But since the things were there, so you can pause the video anytime, can copy the notes if required. Not required, you can go through it. ठीक है, चलेंगे. तो अगर आप रुक के देखेंगे तो मेरा फ़ायदा है, नहीं देखेंगे तब भी मेरा फ़ायदा है. और अगर आप अच्छा लिखेंगे तब भी मेरा फ़ायदा है, और बुरा लिखेंगे तब भी मेरा फ़ायदा है. और अगर आप सब्सक्राइब करेंगे तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, तब भी मेरा फ़ायदा है. और अगर आप ना सब्सक्राइब करें, ना देखें, ना थम्स अप दें, तो फिर मेरा कोई नुकसान तो नहीं है, लेकिन हाँ मेरे को कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है. दैट्स ऑल चिल्ड्रन. ऑल द बेस्ट. नेक्स्ट वीडियो we will be studying reproduction in human being. Thank you.